Chattanooga, Kentucky. I want everybody, first of all, to put your hands together for the woman who organized this whole thing, Cher Ford McCullough.
Thank you, Derek. I'd like to first welcome and thank all of you for coming here today. It's our second annual Million Marijuana March in Paducah, and we were growing. It's a lot bigger than it was last year, so it'll just keep growing every year. We have some very exciting speakers here today and some excellent musicians as well. Our march this year, the Kentucky March, is dedicated to Tom Crosland and to Raleigh Rom from Rainbow Farm, who were systematically executed by our government over Labor Day weekend on their private property known as the Rainbow Farm Campground in Vandalia, Michigan. It was a hip-friendly place. They always welcomed the activists, and just all kinds of people from all over the country would go there and live in peace for several days and enjoy the music and enjoy the herb and enjoy each other. And it was a real sense of freedom that was actually turned out to be a false sense of freedom, not just for Tom and Raleigh, but for all of us. So this march and today is going to be dedicated in their memory, and in the hopes that that doesn't happen again in this country, because war is not a domestic policy, and we are at war with our government, and they are the ones that declared it, and we are the victims of their war, just as Tom and Raleigh were, although we're not dead yet. There are also patients dying, medical marijuana patients that are dying, because the government continues to withhold their medication, which is cannabis. And in my opinion, whether a bullet is being put in your head or whether they're withholding your medicine and you die, it's still murder. So we have to organize and realize that our government is not compassionate. We need to instruct our Congress. As voters of this country, we need to instruct our Congress, because they are also our public servants. We elect them. They work for us. We need to start acting like it. We need to instruct them to change the marijuana laws in this country. There is too many people being arrested. There are too many people dying, people that are guilty of nothing more than smoking God's green herb. It does not make us criminals. It does not make us terrorists. It makes us average human being, Americans, voters. We are voters. Get registered and vote. These dinosaurs that don't want to do things the new way and that refuse to come into the light of the year 2002, we need to get these dinosaurs out of office, because they are not thinking clearly. I guess they're Alzheimer's, or maybe they just need to smoke a joint. I don't know. But it's not working. What they're doing is not working. We're going to turn this beautiful stage over to Derrik Decrane, who ran the stage at Rainbow Farm for many years. And I have to say it was excellent on the Naked Hippie slide. Slide, you sons of bitches, slide. It was too much fun, and hopefully God will provide us another place where we can go and make the pretense of being free in this country. So I'm going to turn it over to Derek, and we're in for an exciting day, so give a big hand for Derek.
Thank you, Cher. The real round of applause goes to Cher, because she organized everything today and made this possible. And I know she's got a bang-up team of people that help her, and I don't know all their names, but I'm sure that they've done a lot in preparing for such an event. Second, the second most important thing I need to do is thank all of you people for having the balls to show up today. I became a marijuana activist in 1990, and I had just a hell of a run for 12 years until last year. We had just an unstoppable force, and we built literally a hippie sanctuary And we had about 60 acres of land, and we let 6,000 hippies come in for the weekend on Memorial Day and Labor Day weekend, and we would let them express their freedoms and do what they so chose, as long as they weren't harming other people. And we never had a problem there. There was never a single fist fight there. There was never any hassles, because Rainbow Farm was governed by what was called the Peace Police. And that's exactly what they were. And we established the Peace Police in hopes that someday Rainbow Farm would get as big as like Disneyland, and then the actual police would mold and you know, get their cops to kind of take lessons from the Peace Police, because if our Peace Police would catch you smoking a joint, they'd wave and drive on by in their little golf carts and say, "Hey, you guys having a good time?" And I know that, you know, when you guys are out here in Paducah, the police are so friendly here, they all stop and wave out of the cop car and say, "Hey, you guys having a good time tonight? Yeah, well, hope you like Paducah." They don't do that? Okay, well, they don't do that in my town either. But the concept of Rainbow Farm is what we're trying to promote all over the country, because it wasn't about a race, and it wasn't about a religion, and it wasn't about a belief or anything. It was about being an individual, and it was about respecting each other for your beliefs and your rights. And, you know, if you want to be a little different, well, that's okay, because you're you, and you have the right to express yourself in any way you so choose. With that concept in mind, we, of course, come upon the marijuana subject, which I find myself more times than not telling things to crowds that they already know. And I find that as a big puzzle, because everywhere I go in the country, a lot of people say, "Man, you know, I hear that stuff all over the country." And there's a lot of people like myself that are going around to events just like this one and talking to people like yourselves. And if we all realize that we're right, and we all realize that what we're doing is beneficial, not only is it not a crime, but it's beneficial. You can do something for no reason. You can do something that's wrong. Even doing something for no reason is okay. That's beneficial. It helps people and saves people's lives. And it could be as simple as something, you know, that if you smoke a joint after work, it keeps you from flipping some guy off while you're driving down the road. It spreads the peace and spreads the love. And that's why I'm here today. And I'm going to say a few things to you guys off and on throughout the day. I'm not proud or tired, and I'm not afraid to compete with that horn. Because no matter how loud they try to blow the horn to cover up the pot demonstration in Paducah, Kentucky, I got a big ass mouth and I'm pretty loud, see? I think that's why they asked me to come down from Michigan, because Michigan must be notorious for people with big, loud mouths. So here I am in beautiful Kentucky, competing with state and federal authorities, trying to thwart our efforts of marijuana legalization. This is a really pleasant change, because in my state, they don't come at you with a loud horn. They come at you with a loaded rifle, and they kill you, and they exterminate you, and it's an execution where I live. And that's sad, and it's scary, and to be quite honest, I'm moving out of my state very soon because of it. Because my state doesn't see the light. And right now, I don't think any states see the light. But we're going to talk to a few people today that'll help you guys understand why each and every one of you need to go today and tomorrow and the next day and the day after that and talk to people and convince people. My campaign last year, with my speaking and stuff, I decided that my whole angle was going to be tell your grandparents that you smoke pot. And a lot of people said, that's crazy, man. My grandma's going to freak out when I tell her I smoke pot. Then I say, yeah, but does your grandma love you? And they say, yeah, she loves me, man. She makes me cookies and brownies and all that. You know, so obviously if your grandparents love you that much, they don't think you're a bad person. And they would understand, their love would see past you smoking a little pot. And they'd understand that even though my grandchildren smoke a little pot, they're still good people. That's what's wrong. Right now, we have a generation gap. The old people aren't voting with the interests of the young people. The old people don't understand that their grandkids are being yanked out of their cars and thrown on the hood and patted down like they're some second-rate animal and locked in a cage and fed substandard food and treated like crap. Your grandparents don't understand that, so you need to go and sit down with them and say, Grandma, Grandpa, I love you guys with all my heart, and I smoke pot because it makes me feel better, and it makes me a more personable, peaceful person. And I don't want you to think any less of me, and your grandparents are going to respect that because you're being honest with them, first of all. And then they're going to talk to their friends, and they're going to say, you know, my grandson had a talk with me about marijuana today. And then it's going to go like a big wave, and it's going to go through all the old folks' homes and all the elderly people around the country. Then, through their grandchildren, would be pro-marijuana. Think about it. It's all about communication, folks. And I do everything I can. Like I say, I've been doing this since 1990. And I've been very, very fortunate because I've only been doing this a short amount of time, and there are people that have put in much more effort and much more hard work than myself. As a matter of fact, our next guest speaker up, I would like you guys to pay close attention to what this woman's got to say. She's been an activist longer than I've been alive. She is what we like to call one of the few and proud free people left in America. Let's put your hands together for Kathy Lyons.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to thank everybody who came out today. I want to thank especially Cher and Brian and Paula, all the people who got this organized. I don't know how old you are, but I was thinking about it today. I graduated from high school in 1972. I'm going this year for my 30th class reunion. I didn't smoke pot in 1972, but I didn't see any reason why it should be illegal. My daddy didn't see any reason why it should be illegal. He grew hemp for years. And when the drug war started, he was appalled that they would class marijuana with cocaine. Daddy said, I've smoked that shit. I'd rather have moonshine. Daddy was prohibited from growing hemp, one of the two cash crops that farmers in western Kentucky could produce. Now they're trying to take away the other one too, which is tobacco. So I'm an advocate for both, because I'm an advocate of freedom. And many years ago, I met a lawyer that I could respect. There aren't many of those out there. I know of two that I hold a great deal of respect for, and one of them I can call a personal friend. I'm going to introduce him to you. I first heard of Gatewood Gailbraith, and I thought, that man's crazy. He's walking up and down the streets, just daring people to arrest him. And then I realized he's right. He bills himself as the last free man in America. Well, I decided that freedom is promised by our Constitution, by our Declaration of Independence. And maybe there's work for me to do too. And so I encouraged Gatewood. I worked for him when he ran for office. I wrote him encouraging letters. And then on one day in 1998, he called my bluff. And I got a bigger mouth than any siren anyway. I'll talk over it too. Gatewood said, if you really want to do something for Kentucky, come out and help me. Be my running mate. I didn't know until then how much courage I really had. Can I really step out there and take that final step and say, all right, I'm going to do something instead of sitting back and talking about it. Instead of just writing letters to the newspaper and gabbing to my friends, I'm going to do something. And I was honored to be asked to be his running mate in the 1999 election for governor. And let me tell you, folks, this would be a different gathering if they'd have counted the votes right. A different gathering if they'd have counted the votes right. I'd be introducing the governor today. And in my mind, I'm introducing a man that has a great deal of integrity. He's an honest man, and he's a free man, and I'm proud to call him my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Gatewood Gailbraith.
This right here is a real heroine here in the state of Kentucky, folks. This lady right here has more courage than anybody over in that building, her and that siren going on right now. Got more integrity than all of them put together. Thank you, Kathy. Yes, indeed. My name is Gatewood Gailbraith. I'm an attorney in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm very proud to be a part of this gathering here in Paducah. I'm a son of Kentucky. I was born in Carlisle, a little town about 1,500 people, right outside of Lexington. Moved to Lexington when I was 12 years old, and pretty much got activated right from the start. Graduated from high school in 1965 and went Marines in 1966. My government at that time had convinced me that the Vietnam War was correct, and I needed to fight for freedom and kill people for freedom and die for freedom if I was a true American. And I fought that line, hook, line, and sinker. And I went to the Marines. I was 4F. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was undraftable, but I made them take me in the Marines because I'm committed to keeping America free. I spent 5 weeks on Parris Island and got discharged because I had an attack of asthma. I was 19 years old. I didn't know marijuana cured asthma, but I do now. I got out of the Marines. I started learning about what the Vietnam War was about, and I've soon learned that it was nothing about what the government was telling me it was. That in fact, this government had me misled and confused and ignorant about the most basic aspects of society and the American way of life and how this system operates. They had me as a puppet, and they had me ready to go halfway around the world and kill men, women, and children at their behest because of the way they had me thinking.